Streaming. We got it. It's
You got
streaming.
it?
We got it. We're hitting okay. Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
And
Yay.
we are live
Yay.
for week 6, 6 weeks continuous of the It's Jen Office Hours.
Yay. Yay. Small but mighty.
Yeah, that's it. That is
Small but
it.
mighty, but that's what AI is.
Yeah, it is definitely getting there. Oh, you probably can't. Yeah, you're gonna have to turn your volume down on that tab or whatever.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're gonna get like some crazy feedback.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have that browser open actually. But it's all good.
Okay.
All right. And then there were 3.
And there were 3.
Love it. Got to start somewhere. Got to start somewhere, right?
It will happen. It's happening.
Oh, it's already happening. I mean,
It's
if
happening. We're just flushing. Yeah, it's happening. I
it's
have a
just
feeling the week of
there's
May
so
5th.
much
Yeah.
there's so much craziness happening right now in both on the on behind the desk and in front of the desk that it's I I'm struggling to keep up. There's like that much stuff going on. And it's a good thing, right? It's all change, it's all evolution,
Yes,
and
it
it's
is.
all about just moving forward. So I'm gonna kick off. We know who we are, so we don't need to do any of that formality stuff.
Correct.
Unless you really feel the need to. Welcome and check in. Let's do that. We have myself, VB, Vikas Bhatia, partner and tech whisperer, I guess, at It's Gen AI, Generation AI LLC. And along with me, we have Ray. Over to you.
Reagan Eastman and Kimberly Weekly.
Ray, you want to introduce yourself quickly? Just roll
Yes.
background. Yeah.
Yes, my name is Reagan Eastman. I'm with itchgen.ai. I am trainer, I am partner, and I'm community manager. And
Head of community. Head of
head
community.
of community. I keep calling myself community manager. Yes, I
That's
need
because
to
no one else is managing it, right?
head of community, head of community, and I am Yorkie lover.
Awesome.
Yes, pardon me. I keep calling it community manager, head of community. And
And
I've
with
got
you
Kimberly
here,
Weekly here.
Hello.
who's a regular. So you want to just do a quick hello for anyone that's going to be watching afterwards, right, Kim?
Sure. Hi, I'm Kim Weekly. Yeah, I'm learning a lot on these
Weekly by
calls.
name, weekly by nature.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, that's we know everyone is here, and what are the office hours? The office hours are a weekly get together of people that want to talk about AI, explore AI, just real people, just trying to figure it out. Um, One of the thoughts that I had earlier, Ray, was um, initially when we started, we were talking about multiple office hours a week, and I found the calendar that I was um, planning that on. And I think, maybe Friday lunchtime doesn't work for some people. So I think what I'm going to do from next week is I'm going to start opening up other office hours, at least a couple more, like not Monday because no one likes Mondays. But I was thinking like Tuesday and Thursday, or Tuesday, Thursday and Tuesday. I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
Just to see what's going on, because there are definitely people that watch our videos after we've shot them. I know because I see people's reactions on social, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are watching this after the fact, drop us a like, drop us a comment, drop us a subscribe, wherever that button is. Don't know where it is, but please find it. And share it with your friends, because otherwise the It's Gen office hours is going to be pretty lonely. It'd just be me and my AIs keeping me company.
You and your bots.
Right, exactly. All right, so what do? We talk about AI, we talk about the things that are going on in AI, and if we get around to it, then we build some stuff. We answer some questions and we just try and figure it out. We don't have all the answers. No one has all the answers, but we will certainly give it every question a go. Um, all right. So this week in AI, I think the story of the week is all about Mythos. And for anyone that doesn't know what Mythos is, you are not too far away from where I'm at. So it's a big security project by Anthropic, people who make Claude, and it's really ruffled a number of feathers. So we're gonna spend some time. Again, open forum, right? Anyone can jump in, got anything to say about it. Um, let's bring it to the table and then we'll just work through it together. Kim and Ray, did you hear about Mythos this week? And if so,
Yes,
what?
may I tell you my Mythos story?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I was at a cybersecurity meeting yesterday, cybersecurity slash AI meeting. And one of the gentlemen or two of the gentlemen there were talking about Mythos or however you want to Mythos in regards to they do the security for uh, DHS, DOT, Department of Transportation. And so, like on a state level, they're saying that all the smaller little towns and municipalities who just don't have the manpower are
Hmm.
starting to have a lot of problems with
Mm.
the attacks, if you will. Let's call them attacks.
Yeah.
And in the last week with Mythos, they just don't have the manpower. That's why they're looking for a lot of entry level cybersecurity individuals who have rudimentary AI knowledge because they still need human in the loop to protect even basic stuff. For instance, traffic lights, payroll,
So
a lot of
core
things.
functions, like critical functions, really.
It's critical functions.
Hmm.
So it's just all hands on deck. So they really need entry level.
So,
So
which is funny, right? Because wasn't it just maybe a month or two ago that Amazon laid off like 4,000 people because of AI and like all entry level jobs are dead and all of that stuff? Isn't that what we were saying just literally a few weeks ago?
well, I think and I didn't get a chance to talk to you when I exited the meeting, but this is an interesting thing to maybe put on LinkedIn just as I'm going to just create a little article.
Hmm.
I think we're going to see a rise of entry level because they can't pay middle management for that, but
Right,
they need all hands on deck
right.
because with the amount of bots and angles,
Yeah.
we still need a human in the loop. That was the takeaway. If you could just tell me what a SOC analyst is.
Oh, Security Operations Center.
Yeah,
So
what
they're
is,
so
yeah.
security. So just think about like air traffic control, right? Like if you're in an air traffic control tower, you are an air traffic control analyst, right? So you watch the planes coming in and you place the planes and all that stuff. The same theory applies for like trains, right? The people that operate the trains, like the tracks and the switching. So follow me so far?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, the Security Operations Center really was born out of the Network Operations Center. So if you've got a big global network, so you've got an AT&T or a Verizon or a Spectrum or Frontier or whatever, you typically have like an operations center. And think of like war games, right? Do you remember the film War Games?
Yes.
Right? The big screens or NASA control, right? Like all the screens, all the people sitting down there. So it's that kind of environment. Um, but what the Security Operations Center will do is specifically look at security threats that are coming into the perimeter or that exist within the perimeter trying to go out because they can go both ways. So a SOC analyst is basically someone that would sit on the front line. So really a frontline role. And they will look at network traffic. They will look at triggers from various systems that indicate that something is going on. and then they're required to analyze, triage, and then maybe escalate or remediate whatever threats are coming in. So like you could think about it like I've got 10,000 people. I've got an office. Like my company has 10 sites, right? Like 10 different companies, and each site has 100 people. So then I've got 100 machines. Well, those 100 machines are connected to the networks in some way. Now, if one of those machines was to get a virus, what it's going to try and do is trying to get to the other machines and then find a way out of that network to get to other machines. So there would be something like an antivirus or something that would sit on the machine that will fire a trigger, right? Oh, I think something's going on here. It will be the SOC analyst's role to look at that trigger and then to work out what's going on and take decisive action accordingly.
Yeah, what I wanted to ask you when I came out of the meeting was, and so you're a SOC analyst and you have these entry level. Would there be humans that would help you, like within?
Yeah. You can't operate in silo
Silo? Okay.
because no one person will know the network, right? No one like the SOC analyst, it might be a false positive. There might not be anything on that machine. It might, right? There's a whole bunch of unknowns, and so you really need to operate as a team to really understand what the layout of the network is, what the threats are, where threats are coming from, where they could potentially go, what the risk is. And there's, also almost like a military organization, there's a chain of command. So the soldier in the front line will need to escalate depending on what's going on further down the chain of command. So the same applies with security operations. Yeah. So Mythos, what happened? Well, this new model, this new thing by Anthropic found thousands of zero-day vulnerabilities. Do you guys know what a zero-day vulnerability is?
No.
Okay. So a vulnerability is basically an exposure to a threat, right? Like my front door can be opened by a toothpick. Well, that's a vulnerability, right? Vulnerabilities can be exploited, right? I take a toothpick, I open the front door. That means I've exploited the vulnerability, and now the threat is person with toothpick can exploit vulnerability and break into house, right? So that's as simple as that is, as simple as that breakdown is. Well, a zero-day vulnerability is a vulnerability in a system, in a piece of code, in an organization, wherever, that hasn't yet been identified and or remediated. So if I know that my front door can be opened by a toothpick and no one else knows, and I haven't told anyone about it, that's a 0-day, right? So what happened to Target back in 2013, for example? That was a 0-day vulnerability on the POS system. So when there are 0-day vulnerabilities, those are the vulnerabilities that are likely to get utilized or taken advantage of by the bad guys, right? And when we say bad guys, we mean bots and systems as opposed to people, right? So the concept of I've been hacked hasn't existed for probably a decade plus, right? It's systems breaking into systems. So to say that you've got thousands of 0-day. So let me just bring up something very quickly and I'll show you. This is a little kind of cybersecurity 101. Maybe 101, 51 maybe. All right, so we're going to just do this and bring this here. All right, so one of the common so there's a website called cve.org, and what it will do is it actually, and this, I've been using this thing for 25 plus years, right? It's existed for, and the other one is MITRE.org. MITRE.org. Oh, no, my is it not there anymore? Oh, I guess not. I guess they got taken over by a furniture type thing. Anyway, CVE. So the job of the CVE, or the Common Vulnerabilities, whatever the E stands for, is to be a list, a database, if you will, of vulnerabilities. So if I then say, like, all right, let's say I have a Apple, right? OS X, because Apples don't get viruses, if you believe the hype. Okay, well, we just found, how many did it find? Oh, 14. Yes, before there'd be more than that. So here's a vulnerability. The vulnerability says that Apple OS X version something, something, something. Here's what it does. And what that means is it could allow threat actor to do something. So in this case, if you have OS X before version 10.7.5, it doesn't handle the BNRB ports of a USB hub descriptor, which would allow someone to run some code by attaching a USB device. So if you remember the age-old, like, oh, I found a USB stick and I put it in the machine.
Yes.
Well, it's because of things like this that people did things like that, right? And so if you haven't like seen this before, you should definitely take a look at. You should definitely take a play, and try and put in your own system or applications that you use, just to see what's out there. But this is why security people put a lot of importance in the make sure your software is up to date. Do your updates, because it's generally when vulnerabilities are identified, they go from 0 day. 0 days then get communicated to the vendors, and then the vendors will say, oh, I've got to now fix this. And they put in a patch. The patch then will then get deployed as an update. So if you are more than one update out, don't be. because what could be, so there are severities of vulnerabilities, like easy, right? Hard, medium, easy, whatever. And then there are also like, how dangerous could it be? So people go, oh, well, it's got a low, like I've met lots of business people, oh, it's a low vulnerability. But here's the thing that they don't think about is, if I have 2 low or 3 low vulnerabilities in a row, that may increase the level and make it a higher vulnerability. Might make it more risky, right? So keep up to date is the thing here. But to find thousands of 0-day vulnerabilities is crazy. Like there's not that many found in like a month. So for an AI to find it, like I guess switch it on, let the AI do its thing. I don't know what time zone, what time frame they were looking at, but it was definitely like kind of crazy. And so exploits, right? So 72 with a 72% exploit rate. So go back to the toothpick example, right? If I say to you, my front door can be opened by a toothpick, well, anyone can get hold of a toothpick, right? But if I say that my front door can only be exploited by a key that is found in 17th century Scottish castles, right? I have to think, I like doing these analogies because it's just like, you're not going to stumble across a key. Could it happen? Absolutely. But is it likely to happen? Yeah, probably not so much. So to find thousands of vulnerabilities and then have a 72% exploit rate is ridiculous, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, it means you could stumble across this code. Like, you could inadvertently like put code on a website and have it as a contact button, and now like you've got vulnerabilities unleashed. Like it's that simple, right? Firefox, 181 Firefox exploits. I'm a little surprised about that because I kind of thought Firefox was a bit more on the secure side, but it's kind of scary, right? So lots of stuff. Why is it different? Okay. It's different. And I had a very interesting conversation with with someone who works for a pretty well-known security monitoring firm. I mean, like if you went onto their website and look at who their customers are, you either shop there, belong to their loyalty programs, or know who they are, right? Like these are like common names. And the one thing that really stood out was that Mythos can get going without having to like scaffold. So scaffolding is when we start the project. So I'm creating a lovable project, for example. It needs to scaffold. The website needs to build, right? That's what we call scaffolding. But it doesn't need to scaffold.
Mm.
And then what it allows for is the chain events. So it doesn't just go back to the kind of previous example I gave you. If I've got a low vulnerability and then I've got another low vulnerability, my two low vulnerabilities could be a medium vulnerability, right? Well, that's what this is saying here, the complex chained attacks. So it's basically saying it can find a small vulnerability, exploit the small vulnerability, keep on finding small vulnerabilities until those small vulnerabilities turn into a big vulnerability, which is then quite scary if we are, thinking about nation states, because they will attack the water purification systems, they will attack the traffic light systems, they will attack meter maids, right? Like the small innocuous type things that people take for granted, really. Project Glasswing, again, very interesting that they did this. There's an organization called IC, well, there's the FBI, and the FBI has a program called IC3.gov. So IC3, if you've ever like, been scammed, or what do I do about it is what people say.
Yeah.
So if you want to ever like report IC3.gov. So IC3 is the Internet Crime Complaint Center.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, where anyone can, it's open to the public, right? You can
That's great.
you can absolutely go on here, log a complaint, log an issue. I will tell you, as someone that has been on IC3 like for what, 15 years, right? I've been doing this for 27, so 15 years I've used like IC3 specifically. It's in the UK. There's a UK version of the IC3. What you should not expect is for someone to pick up the phone and call you back. Right? They're not going to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unless there are a couple of unless, but I don't want to really I really don't want to say what the unlesses are. But I'll let your imagination kind of figure that out. But what does happen, and what I can share, is that when incidents are reported through IC3, every single one of them gets looked at by a human, not by a machine. And it gets looked at because they need to, and it gets looked at by SOC analysts. There you go. Right?
And what department is this? Homeland Security, or who's it housed under?
IC3 is an FBI.
Okay.
FBI organized capability.
Okay.
But what they do, it says it right here, right? File sharing point with FBI. What it does allow the analysts to do is to collate information about similar or like attacks that may be slightly different in nature, right? So like someone contacted Kim and they were trying to sell her Apple gift cards. Someone contacted Ray and they were trying to sell her Sephora gift cards. What the analyst will look for is not necessarily what the gift card was, but where did that communication come from? What was the attack pattern? Did they say the same things, right? Was it the same kind of trigger or the same kind of behavior that they were looking for? And there have been a number of cases, which you could absolutely look up, but there have been like a number of cases where disjointed reports were pieced together to actually find the perpetrators. So
Yeah,
it does
you refer
happen.
the trends or the patterns.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you're not familiar with IC3, definitely look up IC3.
So
Um,
I'm sorry. I have
that's
a
okay.
question though.
Yeah, please.
So, and I've thought about this, and I thought, here's all this data.
Yeah,
What, if anything, is being done with it, or what could be done with it? So, you know how we all have spam, right?
yeah,
We
yeah,
all have emails that come in
yeah.
that we report as spam.
Uh-huh.
So, and I just periodically go in and delete my spam folder. But I
Yeah,
mean, all of this is sitting in there. That's all
yeah.
these scam things
Uh-huh.
that that could, easily, I'm sure, and it would be take very little analysis to find some trends and patterns, some common sources, and all of that.
Yeah.
Is anything done? Like I
Oh
every
yeah. Is that anything done with like you reporting something as spam?
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, Kim, you have just unleashed the beast. So this is my world. I kind of like talking about my world.
You're smiling. I love it. That's
So
great. This is a great Friday because it was all synergistic with my meeting and
yeah.
what
Um,
your PowerPoint was. It's so weird that you know.
so there are a number of tools that exist for domain reputation, right? Um, so domain spam. So when you mark things as spam, typically what happens is um, uh, so every this is a community thing. Hang on.
Yeah, okay. Because yeah, I'm just
Google.
kind of thinking, like, a lot of these things that come in that I don't fall for, but an elderly person might,
Yeah.
about sending money and whatever. And
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, okay, is me marking these as spam helping these be caught and
Absolutely.
somehow stop so that
Yes.
less of these get out to people who are more vulnerable? And
Absolutely. Yeah.
okay.
So Google. So what Google? So let's talk Google specifically because it's the largest search engine, right? What Google will do, or what the mail providers do, is actually let's do this for a second. So we go, who is yes. Okay. All right. So if I was to buy a new domain, it's genspam.com. GoDaddy. Oh, that's because I wanted to see if it was available first. GoDaddy. So I want it's genspam.com.
And is one site better than another for domain, like for finding, searching, and
Yeah,
buying
61.5
domain?
less than the other. It's personal preference. Yeah. I mean, you might get them cheaper somewhere, whatever, but it's no, not really. As long as they're reputable, right? If you haven't heard of the supplier and they're trying to sell you something, I'd be wary of that, right? So we can see here that we can buy a domain for $0.01, right? Credit card scams, lots of credit card scams. What they do? They buy stuff online. What do they buy online? They buy domains online. Why do I want to buy a domain online? So that I can send an email. Why do I want to send an email? So that I can get someone's.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain this to my 8-year-old yesterday. Why because he asked the question, Daddy, why do you have potential spam listed as a phone number on the car dash when we were in the car? So I was explaining to him the concept of spam, and it all comes down to it's money, right? Like,
Well, right. And another reason for buying domain names is to kind of hold them hostage, right?
yeah,
So that
that's
you
a
can force a company to pay you.
that's a
Get it?
yes, not so prevalent anymore, but yeah,
Okay.
it does exist, but it's not that crazy. But staying on the spam thing, right? So now I want to buy I'll buy this name, it's genspam.com. I want to send it to lots of people, and I want to, tell them, oh, you can buy this AI course. It's only going to cost you $99, blah, 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 blah. Well, what companies do, Google, Microsoft, etc., when they receive an email from a domain, these programmatic checks that take place on the reputation of that domain. So if a domain that they receive an email from hasn't even been registered yet, it'll disappear. You won't even receive it, right? But now let's say that I go, it's gen.ai. I go, who is? Okay. So what it says here, it's Gen AI was registered on the 25th of February. We have put some security around it, so it can't just be deleted by anyone randomly. Can't be transferred, can't be updated without certain security controls. The registrar was GoDaddy, right? Bought it from GoDaddy. If whoever is receiving abuse, so if it's Jen sends out lots of spam, sends out lots of bad stuff, then the people can report it to abuse at GoDaddy, because under the terms and conditions of me buying a domain, I am saying I'm not going to use it for malicious purposes. I'm not going to use it for abuse, right? Okay. I also have the ability to maintain privacy, so cool, can do that. Well, now let's just say that I'm now going back to that email question, right? Who is?
And I would hope that AI, if it's not already, will be used to basically handle this much
Oh,
more.
it has been for, it doesn't even need AI. Like this, the way that emails flow hasn't changed since like the 1960s, like as a protocol, right? So like email is very mature, but its information is also very public, right? So the bad guys um, always find ways to circumvent because the knowledge is so publicly available. So what did I just do here? I looked up HGen and then I looked at MX. So are you familiar with DNS? DNS is the system that translates names to IP addresses. IP
Oh.
address is the address. Domain name service is what it stands for.
Oh.
And so like when I go to google.com, like if you went to a computer and typed in google.com, it would not have an idea of what it is. So there has to be a translation from the name to the address. So there's different DNS records, right? I might have one for www.hgen, one for Vikas at HGen, one, right? Like all the different services. So what I've just done here is I've said, okay, set type equals MX is mail. And if I then go HGen, it then says, oh, look, hostname's Google. So itsgen.ai as an email lives behind Google, right? So so now think about, like, I'm on the other side of the planet. I have no idea about these office hours, and I just hear like, oh, there's this company called itsgen.ai, and they do these office hours, and I'm in Australia. Well, my company, Australian Corp, that has no knowledge of itsgen, needs to find a way to be able to send Vicasa itsgen an email. How does it do that? It uses DNS, that itsgen will get translated, and because it points to Google, it'll say, all right, as long as I can get this email to Google, Google will deal with the rest. Which is why if you think about like emails that you send an email that says, no one with that name found at this provider, right? Well, that means that like it got to the front door, and the front door checker said, yeah, I don't know, like Billy Bob at itsgen, send it back. Email is just like physical mail. You'd be surprised at how similar those two worlds are. Like, I don't need to know what street you live on. I just need to know that your zip code, right? And if I know your zip code, it'll get to the right post, like the right sorting office, and then it'll get sorted. So we just took a long tangent around DNS, but all of these. So can you see like DMARC record, right? DMARC policy. These are security controls that exist on itsgen. And certain mail providers will actually reject mail if they don't have DMARC set or SPF set. So back to your, what's Google doing about it? What happens when I press spam? What will happen is that it will, if it's got to you and it is spam, then by reporting it, you are helping the bigger providers take a deeper look into why their systems didn't catch it coming in. So, word to the wise, if you get spam, report it. If there's an issue, report it. Like, seriously, there are like millions of people as well as systems that actively like look at this thing on a daily basis. I know because I did that role for a good few years. So yeah, it works for the most part. Right? It's still tech, so tech breaks and all that. All right. So does that answer your question, Kim?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So Project Glasswing is Claude's way of getting the biggest technology vendors, the biggest security vendors together and saying, hey, you know what? Rather than us announcing or releasing these zero-day threats into the wild, and then you having to like react to that, let's create a closed door environment where we can all talk openly and freely, and let's fix these problems. Back in the day when I was doing a lot of consulting, I used to say, let's just get two security people on the phone together, and no lawyers, no marketing people, no salespeople, and no IT people, and we'll fix the problem. We'll work out what the problem is. We'll work out how to fix it, because we don't have an ego attached to the problem, right? Hey, you got the hole and I got the hole. It just doesn't matter, right? Lawyers, marketing, salespeople, they're all, no, it's not my thing, it's your thing, right? All right.
That's interesting.
And what they're saying is that this capability is going to go to other models, to other providers, because the models are just getting that much more intelligent. While we say that, when I created this deck for the office hours, polished last week this was the title page that it gave me. And I'm like, it's awful. So we still can't trust it. even though it's got smarter, even though it has the context, even though. So what's the world saying? What are we saying in security? We are saying that it now takes hours, not weeks, for a 0-day to turn into an actual threat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the need for entry level, maybe additional assistance.
It's going to take more than people, though, right? Because if
Yeah.
if I've got an army of bots, and my army of bots
Yeah.
can do stuff.
But it needs smart people to make the army of bots properly, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
You can have bots all day long, but if they're not smart.
Yeah. So, and now we can also see that 97% of deployed agents, right? Only 29%, hold on, 97% deployed AI agents of executives deployed agents this year, but only 29 see ROI. So they just think that it's right. Oh, we've deployed a bot, nothing came of it, didn't add any value. Meanwhile, your processes are still the same, right? You're still doing the same thing. And then people, like we said, people are avoiding AI at work. Don't want to talk about it.
What's that? Did you just say?
80% of people are avoiding AI at work.
Oh boy, that's
Yep, that's
like avoiding that your grandmother's hiding liquor in the liquor cabinet. You know, you got to get the vodka away from Nana.
So
for like, I don't know, it's like that's not going away.
So I think we've chatted lots about Mythos, but I'm going to open the floor for a second and stop talking and maybe eat some of my lunch here that's in front of me. What questions do you have? What do you? Let's bring something to the table. What are your concerns? What are your thoughts? What have you noticed? Do you have any questions? Shall I move to the next slide?
I guess my question is, you were saying that the vulnerabilities will be on a municipal slash, you have all these little towns all over the country, right? That have police department information, HIPAA laws, even like the town Bartow here. We have a town of, I think it's like 23,000 people or whatever, and they control their water, right? So, and they might only have 200 people on staff in the city hall or the city municipality.
Yeah.
How does, I guess this isn't a question. Well, maybe this is a question. As an AI agency, how do you help them? What's the approach there?
So,
because I think they, from what I understand, especially in Maryland, all these little towns, for instance, Greenbelt. I'm just trying to think of some of the town names over there.
Sorry, don't say it because this is going to be recorded and sent out to the internet. So just
okay. Well, right. I'm just saying all these little towns that they handle their own their municipalities.
Yeah.
A lot of them. The only thing I think that's under the umbrella is fire rescue.
Sure.
So I guess.
What's the question?
How do you help these people? How do you help these cities? How do you approach them, or what would be a line of defense you could do in the immediate? Because if Mythos just came out, which it did, and we're talking about zero, what's our term? Zero
day. Yeah.
0 day. They don't even have a week to wait.
No, they don't.
So how do you approach these municipalities as an AI agency or as someone who wants to help?
So
is that a good question?
Yeah, no, it's a very good question. And I'm pausing and I'm trying to I
actually have friends who work in those.
I know what my answer is. I'm just what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to think of the best way to answer that question without coming across bias. So
Good.
if think of the Three Pigs nursery rhyme or kid story, right? You got the straw house, you got the wood house, and you got the brick house. If I'm the big bad wolf, who am I going to go for first?
Straw house.
Straw house.
Right. When I left big consulting when I got lefted by big consulting in 2012, there was a research report that came out that Verizon did. It's called the Verizon DBIR, which is the data breach incident response report. And in the DBIR of 2012, it said that 84% of the cyber attacks impacted organizations of under 100 people.
Oh,
I
geez.
started my consulting firm in 2012 and struggled to sell cybersecurity to those organizations. In 2017, when I started my company that provided assessments for free online to small organizations, it wasn't the small guys that were buying, it was the bigger guys. Right? The fire, I've been in cyber since my first thing was 2000, so call it 26, 27 years, right? Every year, every single year, since about 13, when I tell people what I do, they say, oh, that's a really big problem. And up until about 4 or 5 years ago, I would then respond with a whole bunch of like blah, 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 blah. And now what I actually say is, how much does it really bother you? Yeah, it's a big problem, but does it bother you enough to hire me for 2 hours so that we can solve it? Or is it just a big problem that you just want to say is a big problem? And I think that is the thing that I want to say, and I'm learning a lot, is if you want to help others, you got to put your own mask on first. And if you're not even willing to recognize that there is an issue, then you're not going to reach for the mask. And there are certainly, and not to like doom and gloom it, but I'm totally going to doom and gloom it. I'm sorry. I have a couple of like very strong beliefs that have stayed with me throughout my entire career. Number one, if someone wants to break into your house or steal your Porsche, they'll break into your house and steal your Porsche. Like, I don't care how good your security is, it will happen. But if you choose to have the nice car on the block and leave your keys in the ignition or leave them on the dash or leave the windows down, and then you're going to cry because your car got stolen, I got nothing for you. Like, don't come cry on my shoulder. If you don't have money, there are plenty of free resources. You just need to Google. Doesn't cost you to Google. If you want help, there are organizations that will help you for free to solve. So CISA is one of them. It might be closed down because of the government closed down thing, but the CISA is the Center for Internet Security Association or something. It's a government agency, and they literally, I've spoken to their analysts, they literally send people to small businesses to help them shore up their security. There are plenty of resources. People just have to choose to put on their mask. And as my old friend Surinder used to say, who actually used to do security operations with us, denial is not just a river in Egypt. So what can people do about it? Recognize that there is a problem choose to want to do something about it, and then do the scary thing, do something about it. But the thing about security and the thing about security people is that most security people, I think, me probably included, we actually just want to help people, even if we don't get paid for it. Because that's just who we are, right? If you've got a security problem and the first thing someone says is it's going to cost you this to walk through, like this for us to walk through your door, the question you got to ask is it really a security person I'm dealing with? Or is it a lawyer? Is it an auditor? Is it a regulator? Is it some other entity that is not security? But like
A
most,
salesperson.
right. I mean, like, you know, when your house is on fire, I've had it said to me, oh, we know, don't like your approach. I'm like, if your house is burning down and the firefighter chops your front door this way and not this way, are you going to stop them and go, hey, you know what? I just don't like the way that you're chopping my door down. Or are you going to say something like, oh, I don't like the color of your uniform? No, your house is burning down. Guess what? you need to have someone that knows how to put the fire out. So what can they do about it? Reach out. Like there's plenty of resources. There's plenty of resources. There's plenty of people that want to help. If someone really wants to know, then they should just reach out. Fire a flare. Sorry if that put a dampener on.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for the CISA. Do I say that?
Yeah. So it's CISA.
Thank you for that. So like if my small business dentist just wants assistance, but they just don't have the funding, they could maybe look it up.
No cost. Look at that. CISA.org. No cost
Cyber service. No, now why aren't they advertising that?
Because advertising costs money. When you don't make money.
Yeah.
Right.
But that could be one of those, public announcements. It's just something that
It's
put one ad on the highway on I-95 and
you know what one ad on the highway costs? Like 50
God.
grand.
50?
Yeah, it's about that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
It's a chicken and egg scenario. I mean, the people that want to help don't really want to get paid. But guess what? Everyone needs to get paid.
Yeah.
And then the people taking advantage of it are getting paid. And the people that are most vulnerable don't want to pay.
I saw something interesting. Can you give us some security / homework that I saw there's a homework tab? This is interesting.
I've had the same 3 bits of advice from a security perspective ever. Make sure you use strong and different passwords, use 2-factor authentication, and update your systems and do your patches. You do those 3 things.
Yep.
You're going to be like, if you don't use a password manager, use a password manager. If you use a password manager, make sure that your password manager has a check on it that checks for any leaked passwords that might have made it out into the internet. Very simple stuff.
Okay. Two-part authentication, updates on your computer, and use a password manager with really strong passwords. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The more random the password, the better.
Okay.
So most of my random passwords are in excess of 20 characters, and I don't know what they are. Why would I? Because they're in my password manager.
Who can you say it over the video? Like, who do you use for password manager?
So I have a couple of different ones. I use one that comes with Google. I have one that comes with Apple, and then I have a paid one as well. Okay. I don't like to share that publicly.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
For obvious
good.
reasons.
Thank you. I'll
Yeah.
ask offline. So
All good.
I found this extremely fascinating. This 1 hour.
What did you learn that you, or what did you find out that you didn't know before? What surprised you the most?
Well, obviously the CISA, um, 0 days. I mean, everything. The whole hour was just like boom, 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 boom. Like I'm walking away this hour like 50 times, like people in my peer group, other than you're in my peer group, but Kim and I are in each other's peer group. But I feel like we're just in a general sense, walking out into the world. It's insane.
Yeah.
The knowledge that we've gained in 6 weeks has been insane.
Well, thank you.
Right? Would you like to add to that?
I was thinking about last week too, but sorry, my brain's a little.
Welcome to my world.
Her AI brain. But
well,
yeah.
yeah.
But like what you've learned in 6 weeks.
Yeah, like so much, like when and when you and I talked with and working with like Stitch and working with which I'm still playing with, like Lovable, kind of figuring out how all of that works, how things talk to each other. Yeah.
Can I?
It's every day, like I mean, Reagan and I have from the beginning, I think, embraced and been eager to learn, and open to learning, because
and she was the first to embark on AI of anyone I've known in my peer group. But she's monetizing it. She's like a regular person in the world, but you are monetizing because you've sold items that you've created.
Well, I haven't sold them yet.
Well,
you've created items to sell, and that's big enough.
She's monetized, right? Could I say that?
I'm going to.
She's going to, but she's delving into, may I disclose that?
I don't care.
Delving into things that she wrote 20 years ago.
That's amazing.
Music, like legitimate music. And we're listening to her music today. And I'm like, I would buy that.
Wow.
That is a monetized, and she does lyrics, but I mean, it's substantial.
And helping me finish.
She's very creative.
One of my, I told you all my projects. One of them is done, by the way. And but my children's story that I wrote years and years ago, that I just lacked the confidence to finish the illustrations. It's the only thing that stopped me from putting it out into the world. And when AI came about, the light bulb went off, and I went, oh, here we go. So I am still working on that. And that's, again, a lot of the learning of how do I get it to repeat these characters, but in different scenes, so I can finish like the last 5 illustrations and get that out there.
Yeah. Okay. Can I, after we stop recording, can you just stay on the phone for a second?
Yeah.
All right. I want to finish with one thing. You mentioned Lovable, and then we can I will come back to this, right?
Yeah.
Just like a little placeholder. All right. I want to come back to the Lovable comment, and because my wife Jen actually asked me, like, have you heard of Lovable, right? And I said, well, it's really funny that you say that, because Lovable was the first tool that I used in my AI journey. And so much so that in December of 2024, I actually applied to lead security at Lovable.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
In 2024, I found the email, right?
That's
and I even said, I think if I find this is the reply that I found, but if I remember rightly, what I said was something like, I've never been a developer, but I really see what you guys are trying to do, and I would love, and I've been using your tool, And I'd really love the opportunity to help you, even if you can't afford me right now. Like I just want to be involved. Like I want to be involved with the AI. I want to be involved with what you're doing. Right? Like it's a thing. I just want to be involved. And I got the response, like this person actually like left, and I then got a message from someone saying they were only looking for people that were in Sweden or something like that. Like it was just, you know, like whatever, like no, thank you, but no, thank you. But interestingly enough, Lovable actually experienced a pretty big breach
I heard
recently.
about that. Wasn't that last week?
Yeah,
Yeah,
huge.
I heard that. Yeah,
And
It's been blamed for this.
what was
we did too.
what was really I don't want to say eye-opening, but the thing that really like jumped out at me was the way that people do incident response hasn't changed and is so reactive. And literally the first thing that I do when I start working with companies about their security program is I go through the scenario of what do you do when there's an incident? How do you respond to it? And so it's to me that's bittersweet. I don't have a ha-ha moment. I have a oh
Yeah.
man, right? Like it's oh man. So anyway,
Aw.
with that, I'm gonna say, guys, week 6 was amazing. Thank you for
Oh, it was so amazing. But each week layers on it's crazy. Can you
what we
imagine if I was in that meeting yesterday with the knowledge that I have today? Just
oh yeah,
literally
night
12
and day.
hours later.
Yeah, night and day.
If I could, I
Well,
would have been discussing that. So,
we're gonna need to start chopping up some of this stuff and making it available online. So
okay.
maybe there's a job for one of us.
Okay.
Well, with that, I'm going to stop recording. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Ray.